Hello. I'm gonna wait to see if some peeps come on. Gonna just invite some peeps in. I'm trying to find your PJ on here to invite you in. I'm not real good at figuring out how this part of it works, but all right. Hey everyone, I'm gonna wait just a few minutes. Sorry, oh, needed some water there. I don't have much battery. However, I wanted to jump on to talk a little bit about your care of crystals, what to do once you get them, talk about charging them, talk about programming them, just a little bit more information about crystals and how you can work with them, okay? So feel free to ask questions in the comments below. I hope PJ's on. I tried to hit him up. So for those of you that have any questions, again, like I said, just put some questions in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. So I wanted to come on because I know people are asking me questions about crystals. Do they work? And then more or less, how do they work? How do you take care of them? Things like that. And so I wanted to jump on to talk to you for a little bit. So really, the bottom line here is it's about energy, right? It's about energy. We are energy. Stones have energy. Everything has energy, right? And so it's all about energy and it's about mindset. So it's a little bit of a combination of both, right? So your mindset is very important also. That comes into play with the programming of the crystals. Oh shoot, I wanted to bring down one of my cards with my bracelet so that I could explain something to you, but it's upstairs. All right, I'm gonna just talk to you about it. So here's the thing, right? I love working with crystals. I love working with them to help with things that people have blockages with. And so what I've been doing is talking to people via Facebook, and we're chatting in Facebook, and I find out a little bit more about what blockage you have, what issue is going on with you, right? And then, right, what I am doing is I am working with that while I'm creating a bracelet in a quiet space, and I'm meditating on it to make sure that the stones are correct and intuitively right, but also to put the intent in. So what do I mean by that, right? When the stones come to me, they are traveling, and I get my stones from Texas, so they are traveling, and I don't know where they have been. I don't know what paths they've crossed. I don't know who's handling them. I don't know what warehouses they've been in, right? So I clear their energy. So let's first talking about how do you clear energy from stones, because even once you've got a bracelet, okay, after a period of time, you're going to want to clear the energy. You're going to want to recharge it. You're going to want to reset it, all right? So how do you do that to make it work effectively for you? There are several different ways. I have only one way that I really, really, really like, and so I'll explain that to you. But there are several ways that you can clean out energy. And by the way, I clean out energy in my home. I clean out energy on stones when they come in. If I'm getting a bad feeling, I clean out energy, okay? So you can clean out energy. So with stones, and I'm looking over there, I've got stones over there. When I bring in a stone, for instance, right, I don't know where it's been. I don't know who's touched it. If I go to a show and I'm looking at stones, okay, I intuitively am picking that stone because it's speaking to me, but I don't know who's picked it up and then put it back. And I don't know what energy is on there. So I want to clean it out. So you can do that a couple of ways. The first way is water. you can do that, but you need to be careful of which stones, because not all stones work well in water, okay? Depends on the hardness of the stone. Some stones will dissolve in water. Some stones don't interact well with water. So you can use water, salt water, but that's not the method that I tend to use frequently. However, you can also bury your stones in the earth. That is another method that people use. And then the one that I like to use the most is sage. I like to use white sage, okay? So what is sage? Sage looks like this, okay? You can get it in bundles. And so you can use white sage, by the way, or you can use smoke. You can get incense. You want to put the stones through the smoke. So hi Liz, sorry. Hey Gail. So you want to, and let's see if I can work this contraption. This is a new, yeah, I got it. So what you're gonna do, you can light incense if you'd like to do that. I like sage. I actually like how it smells. But you're gonna light the sage, you're gonna catch it so that, okay, the smoke's going. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna push it out toward you guys. I love the smell of it. So I wanna get it where the smoke is going a bit. Now, if you want to sage just energy around, I mean, I have walked through my house and I will blow the smoke and I walk through my house letting the smoke hit where I want to clear it. So for instance, if I do want to clear the energy, right? I don't want to clear the energy right now on my bracelets because they're working really well for me. So I don't want to do that. But if I did want to do that, I want to get a good stream, sorry, of smoke coming through. If I did want to do that, what you want to do is you want to get your sage or your incense, because it can be either or, doesn't matter. Oh yeah, you just want to get a good amount of smoke like that, and then you want to pass your beads through the, your bracelets through the smoke, all right? You want to hold it, you want to pass it through, and you want to make sure that you are clearing the energy, okay? Liz. So you want to make sure that you're clearing the energy out. PJ, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. I was trying to invite you in. Sorry, dude. Now, when you're done, okay, clearing out, but you want to just make sure that you're getting all of your bracelets and that you're saging them and that you're clearing the energy. Now, this is what's important too. Once you clear out the energy, you also want to charge, and then we're going to program them, all right? So, and I'm just using an abalone shell to make sure that I'm stamping my sage out. Now, in order to charge, what do I mean by that? Charging your bracelets. In order to charge your bracelets, sometimes you're wearing a bracelet, right? And like right now, I said to you, I didn't want to clear out the energy because some of my bracelets are working really well for me, and so I don't want to clear out the energy yet. However, when I start to feel not connected to them, when I start to feel like the energy is not working as effectively, as strongly, and the more that you program and work with your stones, the more that you'll understand when that happens. But when it doesn't start to feel as strong for you, you need to recharge it, okay? Now, you can recharge it by exposing it to sunlight or moonlight. I prefer moonlight. You can do sunlight, but I also would be very careful, not to leave it in the direct sun, but you do want the sunlight to get on it. I get worried sometimes about that. I would never leave a house with it in the direct sunlight, all right? But that's why I prefer moonlight. I'm just much more comfortable with moonlight. And you could do a couple of things. You can either, I will take my bracelets and put them in a dish. I actually leave them outside my front door, and I do that for 24 hours. But you can also just leave them in the moonlight. The best time to recharge your stones is on the full moon. And you can actually Google that and look up when are the full moons. The next one is May 29th. So I always will recharge my bracelets and my stones. Hey PJ, on May 29th. I will do that. So this one is at 10:20 in the morning. That's when it starts. But you can just recharge by putting them in a dish and letting the moonlight go to them. That will, now you've got your bracelets and you want to reset them, reprogram them. Here's the thing. I want to talk about this for a minute, because let's say you have a bracelet for anxiety, all right? The most effective way to work with it, you have to connect to the stones. You can't just get, I mean, some people can, but I feel like you can't just get a bracelet, put it on, and think your anxiety is going to go away, okay? That just is not how it works. So what happens is you're going to connect or program the stones. Again, remember, it's energy, but it's your mind, it's your intentions, it's your thoughts. I like to connect to stones that I am using. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time. Sometimes that may take more time. So like for instance, right, I will have these, and for me right here, I've got blue lace agate, I've got sodalite and amazonite on these. And so for instance, these right here help to make me see things a little bit more clearly. If I'm in a situation, I can tend to get highly emotional, and so I'm a Pisces. And so what I need sometimes is to be able to calm myself, use a little bit more logic than just all heart, okay? I need to kind of center myself, kind of ground myself a little bit, which is this one over here is my grounding. And I need to be able to see things a little more clearly. So in order for me to really connect and program, I hold my bracelets in my hands and I think about in my head. Now, you can program any way that you want, all right? You can either, Marla, hey man, can't stay. We'll watch that. Okay, Marla, no problem. I can't believe you were talking about stones. I recently found my bag of crystals that I've had for 10 years packed away. I need to clean. Oh, Liz, you know, I have to tell you something. Yes, grab them out. Love them. And what you're going to do is just sage them, you know, use incense or sage and clear the energy, put them out in the moonlight so that you can charge them and then start to reprogram them. So talking about reprogramming or programming or connecting to your stones is that, you know, I will hold them and I will think about, I close my eyes, okay? I close my eyes because I like to do visualization. And so I will think about the issues. I will think about the problems, you know, or the situations that I want to make better. I will think about what I want to grow out of this, right? I will think about how it's going to help me. And I will hold on to it because there's energy. And so I want to put that back in here. Now, when a situation, for me, and this is how I utilize this, when a situation happens, right? Like let's say I get into a conflictual situation and my emotions start to get charged, right? You know the feelings that start to trigger you. So when those feelings start to happen for me, I will put my hand on those two bracelets. And that might be a focal point for me to like retune in, reattach, and just hold on, right? Or just put my hands on here. These two for me, right? I have here, these two for me are spirituality. They're actually for when I start getting feelings, gut feelings, or maybe a message or something goes into my head, some thought, and I don't know why it's there, or I need to learn to trust what I am hearing and feeling. It's something that I push away and I need to stop doing that. And so I'm utilizing those stones to allow that to come through. I have also got protective stones against negativity. So if I am in a situation and I'm dealing with somebody who's nasty, right? What normally happens when you are out and about and somebody's rude, okay? Or somebody, you know, I had it today actually. I was actually in Target and a woman was blocking the aisle and I was trying to get poster board for Dylan, and she turned around and gave me a nasty look, and then I said, oh, do you want to get by? And she was still nasty afterwards. And honestly, you know, negativity breeds negativity, right? So I don't want to take on her energy. You know, if she wants to be nasty, that's on her. And so I seriously put my hand on these two bracelets, let it go, moved on, right? And I don't let that energy attach to me. I don't think savvy bracelet the minute. Yeah, PJ, totally, right? It's a heavy duty connection, and these are my abundance bracelets, right? Just and then over here, I've got a grounding one, and then I've also got more spirituality and healthy lifestyle. So you know, there's more to it, and the more that of a relationship that you have to your stones, okay? I'm going to show you something too. I want to grab something. But the more of a relationship that you have with your stones, all right, the more connected and the more helpful they'll be. I'll be right back. I want to grab something. So I want to show you something. So I want to show you when we're talking about energy in the stones. Look, okay? This is from the earth, right? That's the outside. That's like what you would see if this was like stuck into the earth, all right? And so when it's mined out, and this is raw, this is not a polished stone. So stones can come as polished, which would be a tumbled stone, which would be like, I've got them in my bra, hold on. I can't believe that. Okay, so that would be a polished stone, all right? So that's a labradorite. Hold on, I'm gonna put it back in my bra. That would be a polished stone, right? So then this is a rough stone or raw stone. And what I love about this is blue lace agate. So look, when this was mined out, can you see that? This is, you know, the earth's energy is all around this, right? I mean, this stones are incredible. So that's blue lace agate, right? Do you see that? And now watch, because what they do is here's blue lace agate as a stone, as a bead. Okay, hold on. Can you see that? Like, see the, sorry. Let me see if I can get a good pic of the blue lace agate. Can you see that? It's so cool. Like, it's just so cool. So I wanted to jump on because as I am talking with people, right, I am realizing that people don't realize that they should be removing energy from stones and recharging them and connecting to them, or I'll say programming, okay, because you could say however you want, but basically you're connecting. And you know what? You could connect with your stones any way that you want. You can meditate, you can do yoga, you can manifest, you can think in your head. I tend to visualize in my head. I will close my eyes and I will just hold them while I'm meditating. You can do all different types of things. PJ, I love blue lace agate too. It's an extremely peaceful stone. It's calm, it's tranquil. I mean, even look-wise, you can see that, right? It's a very, very calming stone. It's a great stone to use with other stones too, to kind of balance things. But yeah, I love blue lace agate. I'm drawn to blue lace agate. I love what stone don't? I mean, I love all the stones, I'm telling you. Like my whole shelf is like full. I need more. So does anyone have any questions? What I'm gonna do too is when this is over, when I'm done, I will go find the chart for the full moon and I will put that chart down so that you guys can have that. Again, May 29th would be the next time. That would be just a really good time that you can take your bracelets, put them in a dish, leave them out for 24 hours and to have them recharged, right? Again, just to cleanse the energy, you can get the sage, the white sage, or, you know, if you don't want to walk through your home, you can also get incense and put the bracelets through the smoke. Does anyone have any other questions? I just wanted to jump on. I really wanted to do this yesterday and then things got away, and then things got away today, and we've been running around until I was seriously about to go call it a night. And I'm like, let me just go down, jump on, do this so that people can understand a little bit, okay? So what I want you to know is that the 3 things that you need to do in order to have the bracelets the most effective for you. Hey, April. Hi, Kellyanne. To have them to be the most effective for you is when you feel that the energy is not as strong as you're used to it. I want you to recharge them. And I particularly like recharging them in the moonlight. I also want you to connect more with your stones. I want you to connect more. I don't want you to just get them and to plop them on and then just forget about them and just think that they're gonna just magically work, all right? You have to do some of that work too. You have to connect with them. You have to work with them. The more that you give to them, the more they'll give to you. I know that might sound a little strange, but I don't care. I know it works. So I'm going to wait a few minutes and see if there's any questions. I hope everyone had a really good weekend. I'm so glad tomorrow it's not supposed to rain. Finally, but I think rain's coming back on Tuesday. Ooh, come on, sun, right? All right, gang. So I just wanted to jump on to talk to you about that. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. If you have an issue that you would like to talk about, come into my inbox. I'm happy to chat with you, talk to you about stones, answer any questions. Also, feel free to check things out at www.soul, SOULBBEEIT, soulbeeit.com, soulbeeit.com. For those of you that don't know, that is named after my grandmother. My grandma's name's B, so, well, it's Beatrice. So for those of you who wonder why I have this huge obsession with bees, it is because that's my grandmother. Hold on, thank you. I started my day with you, and Liz, thank you. Thank you. So you guys, here's the thing. All right, so let me share this with you. A lot changed when the company that I loved ended, right? It was sold, and it was not only, but there was a lot of stuff that was going on in my life, okay? So it was that, but there were also just some major transitions that I was having stuff with myself, stuff with different just relationships, stuff with the company, stuff. There was just betrayals. There was so much stuff. And truthfully, it was just not a great time, because a lot of change brings conflict, and you have to dig in deep in those times to figure out who the hell you are. And sometimes in the darkest of times, or the most change, you know, you got to fight to not give up, right? You got, because you're re-emerging, like, right? And it's like you're re-transforming. So there were points of times where, and here's also why I say tap into the universe, because the universe will talk to you if you listen. There's signs all around. So let me go back first to tell you that my grandmother passed, and her name's Beatrice, and so we call her B. And we all were little bees when she had passed at her funeral. I didn't realize this, but bees were around me a lot, and you know, I didn't think anything of it. I really didn't, until one day I was having a difficult time, and I was like, you know, when you get to a point you're kind of like, why, what's going on, and you're in that bad place. And I noticed a bee land on me, on my toe actually, and it was just sitting there, and it wasn't moving. And I didn't shoo it away, and it sat there for quite a while. And I realized, Robin, start noticing bees. That's your grandmother. And I'm not kidding you. Almost every time that there is a question, it doesn't have to be bad, but it could be a conflictual question. It could be, should I trust that person? It could be, should I be happy about that? It could be just something, just a question. You know, when you're asking, what should I do? That type of thing, okay? A bee comes across my path, right? Whether it is a real bee, whether it is someone sending me, and I'm looking because I've got bees over there, whether somebody sends me an ornament with a bee on it, whether someone sends me a mug with a bee on it, whether I always get something in the mail, or I walk by a store and there's a shirt with a bee on it, or I walk into a store and there's a plate with a bee on it, okay? A bee seriously crosses my path. I'm going to tell you, at Dylan's junior prom, just recently, it was not a warm, hot day. It was kind of cool. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh my God, why are there so many bees? And I was laughing to myself. And I'm like, because my grandmother wanted to see him. You know, maybe she brought her friends. I don't know. But she wanted to see Dylan. And I knew she was there. So in any case, the whole crux of this, okay, is that I started to notice that the bees were coming around, and I really started to have this connection, and this is years ago, and I really started to have a really strong connection to the bees. So when all of this transformation and everything was going through, that's when I really started connecting and understanding, because it just started showing up at a rapid pace. It just couldn't be a coincidence, okay? It just couldn't. It just could not. It was just too odd that I would go into anthropology and there was a display of bee plates. What? Like, I'm sorry, that's not a coincidence. So I started to really pay attention. In any case, I will tell you that how this whole bracelet came about was not intentional. Not a lot of people knew that I was really into crystals, except those that really knew me or have been in my home and saw crystals around, okay? It wasn't something that I talked about. I have one of my closest friends is a crystal healer. She's phenomenal. And so, you know, I was always around it with her. And it was so bizarre because a friend of mine had asked me if I could bring her some crystals. And I said yes. So I have jars of crystals and I brought her some. Okay. Then she had said to me, hey, can you make bracelets? And I said, yeah, I probably can. And so I made her some bracelets. And she said to me, I think a really good idea for you would be to do some college bracelets, because she's amazing, by the way, if anybody needs a college advisor. Shout out to Marnie Half. So Marnie actually suggested to me to do college bracelets, and I did some for her. I also did some bracelets for her kids, and she posted them. And all of a sudden, I started to get some questions in my inbox, and I went to sleep. I don't know, maybe it was a few days after. I went to sleep, and in any case, I know this is like a long story, but in any case, I woke up, and I'm not kidding you. I can't even explain this to you. I woke up, and I knew the name was going to be So Be It. I knew I was naming it after my grandmother. I knew that every bracelet was going to have a bee on it, and so just so that you know, any bracelet that you do receive it says made with love, but there's a little bee. I don't know if the camera will, there it is. I knew that it was going to have a bee on it. And on the back of all of the cards that explain what the stones are and explain the story of the stones, okay, on the back of that card is the story of my grandmother. It's my way of keeping her with me. And I kind of feel like it's my way that she is still a part of me. And so what's really cool is, like, if I am sending you a bracelet that you have ordered, I feel like she gets to meet you, okay? Like, as I am packing that up, I basically will say to her, okay, you're gonna go meet PJ now, you know, or whoever, and I send her off. I send the bracelet off, and she gets to meet you. So it was really cool, but I am telling you, I went to sleep, And I did not have an intention of doing this. I went to sleep and I woke up and I just knew I had to do it. Like, it just wasn't, it was the weirdest thing, you guys. And it's been the biggest blessing because it's allowed me to embrace what I love and not be afraid to share it, okay? And to just really engage my passion. So I'm extremely thankful. Just so that you know, I do cleanse the stones when they all come into me, and then I do meditate on them. I don't just make a bracelet. I sit, I dim my lights. I sit over in the corner over there. I have a big beanbag chair. I sit over there. I meditate, and I actually put it together with the intent that you've talked to me about in there, so that when it comes to you, it's got my energy of me thinking of what you need the most, and I do send that off to you that way, okay? So it is filled with the right intentions as it goes to you. So I wanted to be able to explain that because it is more to me than just putting together some beads that look pretty, okay? It is so much more to me. If they're beautiful to you and if you love them, then that is just an extra blessing. To me, I am making them with intent. I'm making them with love, and I'm making them with intent, and I am making them with gratitude. And so I just wanted to explain that. So I didn't know that was going to segue into a whole story about my grandmother, but I don't know. She's such a big part of it. She's such a big part of it. So it was just crazy how the whole thing transpired. I wanted to share that with you. And if at any time you have any questions about any of the stones, feel free just to come in my inbox and ask me. I'm happy to I love to chat about it, actually. So just feel free. So at this point, I'm sending much love out to you. As always, so grateful for you for joining. I hope that that explained a little bit more about how you can connect with your stones, because I know that if it's new to you, you know, I take it almost for granted because, you know, I will hold a stone and say, you know, oh, let me also say this to you. Okay, I'm so sorry. Let me also say this to you. Sometimes people are like, what stone should I work with? What stone is from, and the best thing sometimes, you guys, is stones will sometimes choose you. So just recently, I was actually doing an event. This was so cool. And I was doing an event, and I have 3 bracelets that are on my table. And then I have like a bin, and in the bin are all the bracelets that I might put together. And they've got things that they'll help you with. Like, you know, maybe it's going to help you with forgiveness. Maybe one's anxiety. Maybe one is, you know, negative people in the workplace. Just all different things, right? So this guy comes up to the table. This was so cool. And on my table are 3 bracelets that are there, so that if you want to try on the standard size and see, you know, if that fits, great, you can do that. But he picks up the bracelet that had the crystal cola in it, and he picked it up, and he's like, oh, I like this. What's this? And we're talking about the bracelet. And he puts it down, and he's going through all the different things, and he's like, oh, I love this. This one's perfect for me. He goes to his girlfriend, look at this, and he shows it to her. Well, what's in that bracelet as well? Crystal cola. So I said to him, do you realize that you have now gravitated toward that stone twice? So to me, that stone was picking him, okay? Now, in the meantime, the coolest thing is his girlfriend did this same exact thing, and the stone that she kept going to was moonstone. 3 times. She picked 3 different bracelets, cards, you know, 3 different ones, and every single time the bracelet had moonstone in it. And I said to her, the stone that's calling for you is moonstone. So sometimes pay attention to what is speaking to you. Not necessarily like reading about what all the stone, I mean, you could do that too, but a lot of times intuitively a stone will call to you, okay? And usually when that happens, it is because you need that stone in your life, okay? The properties of what that stone does wants to work with you. All right, I said I was getting off. I'm going to get off. I could go on a tangent. Sorry. So much love. Huge gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate every single one of you. Mwah! Have a great, wonderful Sunday. Bye.